My name is Linda Kimeisa, and I am a communication manager, and I'm managing all the communication activities together with my team for the project and also for the one-stop shop, digital one-stop shops. So, and today I will speak about what we thought, what was behind our idea when we established the digital one-stop shops. So, as mentioned before, there are 4 of them. And the main challenge for establishing digital one-stop shops was that all the information in those regions, pilot areas, countries, was very fragmented, and there were a lot of information resources. So basically the information is fragmented and then lots of resources, so it's difficult for the end users to navigate through this information. And then also we wanted to compile all this, or at least most of that information in um, one digital one-stop shop where that would be easy for them to navigate and understand. So with that in mind, what we were thinking about that we need a simple and very clear way of how to communicate that, because as Maria already told, sometimes the terms that are used for the professionals in the area can be complex for the end users. So we need to think about the ways how to communicate that in the simplest way possible, not because we are thinking that they are less educated or what. It's just for maintaining that way so that they can easily consume the information, and they are not kind of already distracted and upset and just leave it there. So then we wanted to have it to have the clear call to action so that they would exactly know what to do in case if they want, for example, to have a consultation, they want to meet with an expert, or they want to apply, they want to prepare some documents. So we wanted that it's very clear how to access that information. And of course, we also wanted this information to be findable, because it doesn't make sense to just build a digital one-stop shop and that it exists somewhere there in the internet. So we want that, for example, if the end users are searching for the information, they can find this digital one-stop shop and then consume the information. So then important was also that each of the one-stop shops has its specific language within the pilot country. So for example, in Latvia, it's of course in Latvian, in Coimbra, it's in Portuguese, and so on. So that was also a little challenge, but we managed that. I will explain you how. And then for the sustainability and exploitation purposes, we also paid attention to the domain that we choose for the digital one-stop shop. So in this context, we believe that, for example, the people living in the specific country and area would have more trust to the domain that ends with the ending of the specific country rather than EU, so that they would feel closer to that and would be able to trust it more. And of course, within this time when most of the users are using more, or at least most of them use a lot of mobile phones for searching for information, we paid a lot of attention also to the mobile version of digital one-stop shop. So basically we tested everything on both on desktop version and also on mobile version. So where we started, of course, we had to collect the information from the all 4 pilots. We had to describe a little bit the end users, because in each country their needs, their struggles, their cultural background, and as well as their, for example, daily habits might be different, also due to the climate, of course. For example, in one area, there is importance also that we speak about air conditioning and the heating in those terms, and in other areas more important just the heating. That's just one example, but you can guess that those are different aspects of the end users. And then, of course, we were also paying attention to their struggles and potential interests, and of course, keywords. And keywords in two senses. One of them, that's for the search engine optimization purposes, so that the digital one-stop shop would be easily findable, as I mentioned. And then the other keywords, so that the information such as call to actions and other pieces of content would be appealing to them, and they would easily understand what they might do, what they could do, and so on. So I would like to share one mini story like that we based on when we developed the design and the content for our digital one-stop shops. So the idea is that, imagine when you take an airplane from point A to point B. So that's kind of a transportation, like you go A to B. But then imagine if that during that flight you have that experience that we call when the pilot, for example, announces that, oh, for the moment you can take a look at those people who are sitting like on the right side. You can see, for example, Paris, or then later those people who are sitting on the left, you can see this and this city. So that turns the transportation into experience. I wanted to tell this story not because I think that some people would enjoy searching for information on our one-stop shops, but I wanted just to tell that we would like to make this experience as easy, as simple as possible, and all the time we had in our minds the end user, not what we want to say in or what we think we should say, but what we expect or what we hope that the end user would understand and then act accordingly. So the concept. So first we started with the structure. When we compiled all the information from all the different pilots, we wanted to create a concept so that we would know what pieces of content we could include and what we should include, so that it would be easy for the end users to consume the content. And we started with Latvian digital one-stop shop for several reasons. First of all, because the actual one-stop shop in Latvia was already established, so that they had already some experience in what the people are interested in, what they are searching for, and that was kind of functional. And the second is that because we also are from Latvia, so we had we had this opportunity to create the content like in real, with the real cases, like with real information, rather than just assume that some pieces of information would be available. So we could easily navigate through all the materials and develop that in Latvian language. And as I mentioned, we had this approach that we have to use as much as possible the clear call to actions. For example, learn more, contact us, apply for consultation, so that the experience of the end user would not just end with seeing or reading something, but that would end with some of the next steps that he or she could do. So the design here is the screenshot from the digital one-stop shop in Latvia. And this example I also use because afterwards Walter is going to speak about the case study. So like this, I introduce you already with the context of what he's going to tell you. And as you can see, we try to make it very, very simple and very straightforward. Here you can see some of the landing pages. We used also the videos that were already available, and we tried to structure all the information, as you can see here, in some clear blocks with more information about a specific topic afterwards. And here is one of the call to actions, and this is, for example, the process. So we try to simplify all the processes into the less text possible, so that people could understand the main steps, and then if they want to go deeper, they can go and read more information about specific topics. So here is the content again. So we, as you can see, we structure everything so that there is a headline, then there is a short information, what it is about, and then you can see the main keywords, what type of information can be found afterwards. Since, as I mentioned, there is a lot of information, and we have to make it very, very simple for people and findable for them. Then also, what we wanted to emphasize is the message on what the one-stop shop can do for the end users. And here we created this type of information, text and image that symbolizes the city. And we just mentioned the main, I would say, services that the one-stop shop offers to all the people who are interested in that. So like this, they would not, for example, expect that the personnel of One Stop Shop would do something very specific or provide some very specific services that they do not provide. And again, call to actions. This is one of the key moments, I think, also in the digital one-stop shop of Latvia, because they offer the consultations, the free consultations that can be done online. And this is amazing, since you see here those are just few steps how they can apply for that consultation. Since you can see already the times that are available, you can choose which time and day is appropriate for you, and then apply. So there is no exchange of some emails or telephone calls and so on. So that's like straightforward, and I think it's a like very good approach. The news, of course, we are also trying to update all the people in specific country and area about the activities that are done in the context of the project, and also in the context of this specific one-stop shop. So this section is all the time updated. We announce there the upcoming events, and then we also publish there the results that are specific and relevant to this region and to this target audience. So we are not going to publish all the information that is produced, or all the results that is produced by the project. For that, we have another platform that is called Reverter Hub. So that's like for the large audience, and then the information is in English, but here we stick to the specific information in that country's language. Then we created also the section that is called Useful Tools. And within this section, we compiled all the information resources that are available. Most of them are in the specific language of that country. So which means that those are not the same resources in the 4 pilots. So in those 4 pilots, the resources are different, because those are pieces of information that were created, for example, for by other projects, by other organizations, by those organizations that are already, for example, partners of the project. And then there are, for example, there can be online tools, there can be videos, series of videos, there can be documents, and so on. Then about the energy saving tips. So of course we wanted also to inform end users about the ways they can already save the energy without, for example, specific activities such as renovation, to just give them the idea that that's possible. This process is possible already today and now. So we prepared specific energy saving tips that were published in all the 4 digital one-stop shops. And here we just mentioned, for example, for those who don't understand Latvian, the how much of investment you have to do, so how difficult it is to implement that, and what is the impact on your energy saving. So with that in mind, we hope that already this could help them to start the process to for them to feel better and be better. And of course, those energy saving tips are also downloadable so that they could be easily spread among the, for example, sent or used in other ways. Then another small interactive moment that we created for the end users is that we just mentioned with this interactive, I would say, map or design, what type of uh, activities they might do and how the energy could be saved, and how they could benefit from those activities. Then just information about the documents. As you can see here, we structurized everything, and important aspect is that we are all the time trying to update all those documents. For example, if there is an update of the document launched, we update also the one-stop shop. So it's kind of time consuming, and of course we have to pay a lot of attention, especially because there are lots of them, but I think this is very important for the end user. And because this digital one-stop shop is mainly aimed at the end users in the specific area, which is in our situation Riga, but we wanted to make it kind of open to everybody, because the general information might be relevant and useful for everybody. For example, the tools, the energy saving tips, and some documents and so on. However, we wanted also to propose to the people who are living in other regions, so that they would be able to find some institution, organization, and so on, so that they would be able to consult them about their specific situation in that area. Again, call to actions that we use for more information for the consultations, and different type of support documents. For example, the documents that they can download as examples and then fill them in, and then use for their application forms. And just one tiny comment about the energy ambassadors, so that all the process would be very transparent and effective. We also announced that the energy ambassador campaign in all 4 pilots, so that everybody or anybody who wanted to become an energy ambassador could apply and actually become one. And we explained all the benefits they would have, how that would happen, and so on. So that was also one of the experiences for the energy ambassadors that we introduced into our digital one-stop shops. So then when we speak about the replication, as I mentioned, first we developed the Latvian version, then we translated, but like very simple translation into the English, so that only the main context would be understandable for all the other pilots. And then we made a session where we went through all the different types of pieces of information, and then that information was obviously not translated, because that might not be relevant for all the digital one-stop shops and different pilots. But because there was this base information, they were able to adapt that to their specific needs and to integrate their specific information. So at that moment, we believe that this is the simplest approach, the fastest approach, and for everybody. And I think it worked very well. So afterwards, when everything was ready, we did the testing. So the testing was done by the one-stop shop personnel, by the consortium partners, and we also introduced few of the end users. That was not like a very official, I would say, testing in terms of the methodology and so on, but we just invited some of the collaboration partners to answer the specific questions so that we could see how it went. So afterwards, we also provided training for the one-stop shop personnel so that they would know how to update the information, edit the information within those digital one-stop shops. So we recorded a video, and also we created the manual where there is a step-by-step guide on how to do everything, how to update, how to use the system. And we also used a very, very simple and intuitive system so that this is the WordPress with Elementor, if somebody knows, with the drag and drop option. And then, of course, the launch, and the launch was in all the pilots. Then we did the launch for the international audience. So there was a social media communication, there were updates, there were press releases. And then at the end, or now, and still up to the end of the project, we have to monitor all the results. So for the monitoring, the interesting thing, of course, is the traffic sources. Here you can see the difference between the traffic sources in each of the pilots. So kind of the same digital one-stop shop, but already the traffic sources are different. So which just indicates on how different, for example, might be the target audience, and how different might be the activities that are implemented and impact on a traffic. So then technology, for the moment, as we can see, most of the versions are not most of, but there is a slight difference between the use of the smartphone and the desktop version. So here, I guess this is a mistake. There should be a desktop and here as well. So, anyways, we can see that the country is also different in how the technology is used for the visit of the digital one-stop shop. As I mentioned before, the keywords were very important part of the content creation. And this is the Latvian example. Here I just wrote few of the translations, what it would mean in English, so that everybody can understand the idea. But then time to time, we monitor the performance. And for example, you can see that with this keyword, for example, in November, they were number 4, and then in August, they were number 1. So which means that it's great if somebody is trying to find this keyword, most likely they will find this digital one-stop shop. And here we can see how the results grow. And for example, here we see that there is a kind of a, not problem, but we should work on this keyword to get back to the better position. And this activity we're trying to do in all the digital one-stop shops, in all the pilots, so that information is better findable. Then some of the popular searches. So, okay, it doesn't matter what it says actually here, but just to mention that we try to see what are those searches. For example, this one, this keyword, we noticed that people are searching for some type of survey for the owners of apartments. And what is our idea behind is that we have to create more content about this, or be more specific, so that even more people can find this information, and that we can ensure that for this information we can be at top 1 results on a Google, for example. And I will finish my presentation with the campaigns. And those are the results from the campaign that were or is still implemented in a digital one-stop shop in Latvia. So as you can see, the statistics were pretty good. If we don't see this one, because this one is like super high. That's when the campaign started in Riga, and Walters is going to, I think, give more information about that. But what I wanted to mention is that if you do some specific targeted activities, of course, you get lots of traffic, and that gives amazing results. And then, for example, imagining that the campaign would be over at some point, I believe that the statistics would never go back to the same level, but that would increase anyways, even if the campaign is over at one point. And then at the end, some of the conclusions. Um, we believe that it is very important to make the access to consultations very available. So anyways, if it's online or in person, so that, as I mentioned, just the information that is hanging somewhere there in the on the internet is not going to help. And for sustainability and exploitation purposes, I would like to emphasize the importance of the domain and the language where the digital one-stop shop is implemented. And I have seen other solutions that, for example, all the digital one-stop shops are implemented into one, I would say, website with just separating the languages and some pieces of content. So in our understanding or how we planned it, that might be a little bit difficult to exploit it after the end of the project, since each of the pilots might want to use it maybe differently, so that if it's independent structure and in independent digital one-stop shop, they can adapt easily. For example, if they want the colors, the content, some specific information. So that's like super easily manageable. And then, of course, the monitoring is very important, because all the time when we see the some changes, some heights in statistics, for example, in visitors, we can see, oh, we implemented this and this activity. For example, the Coimbra sent out the emails, and directly that reflected into the statistics. So, and we can see, oh, this is what worked. So we have to, for example, do something like this again. And of course, the regular update for the content, which is very important just to keep the people engaged. Then you can also send the email newsletters, for example, and also for the search engine optimization. And now, thank you very much. And I hope I was not very long.